if you just recently started dating a guy, he invites you for a trip, but you're not sure if he's gonna pay for it or you're supposed to, like you're just getting confused with the finances because you're so new, this is what you should say to make sure that he covers the cost. Oh my god, I'm so excited for a trip. Please let me know what info you need from me when you're gonna do the booking. Let me know if it helps.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll be looking at 3 stories that won't leave anyone indifferent. First, we'll meet a woman who got divorced just 2 weeks after getting married, and the most incredible part is how she laughs and justifies it. Then, we'll dive into the world of divorce coaches. Yes, that actually exists, where several women explain why they decided to get divorced, some even doing it twice. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. A big thanks to everyone who supports the project with their super chat and shares their experiences in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. All right, let's get started.
I will ask then. I will just ask. What is going on here?
So I was with a guy. We were together for 6 years, but we were only married for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And
kind of
then it
Hookup of in a marriage, okay.
blew up everything. Everything.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
But you were together for 6 years. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
why did we divorce after 2 weeks?
So
Did you keep laughing in the middle of the night?
no.
Okay.
I enjoyed my life. My laugh.
No,
Thank you very
I'm
much.
poking at you.
So right before we got married, I came out as bi, and then
Okay.
we decided to continue with the wedding. I really wanted a girlfriend, and he was,
Oh.
I know, he was iffy about that. And then I decided that women probably weren't enough because our life was really horrible.
Why were you getting married?
I-
You knew you wanted to have a girlfriend. He wasn't a girlfriend.
Yeah, I
and
know.
this life wasn't there, which a lot of people find to be very important.
I
Me
know.
included, like it's normal.
Yeah.
So why did we go through with the marriage if it ended in 2 weeks?
Because I knew I always wanted to be with him, like, for the rest of my life. I just didn't
How'd
know.
that turn
I
out?
just obviously not well.
Damn!
Simple. She wanted his money. Here we have a man who was the classic, useful fool. She claims she discovered she was bisexual, but I'm sure she never mentioned it before getting married. Like many modern women, she only wanted the title of wife and the big wedding. Nothing more. Now, I'd like a woman to answer this. Is this fair? The average wedding in the US costs between $24,000 and $34,000. Money this guy probably paid out of his own pocket. After the marriage, she had access to all his assets and bank accounts, and even though they divorced after just 2 weeks, she was entitled to half. How is that fair? They were together for 6 years. She had plenty of time to end it before, but she didn't. She waited until they got married to make sure the money was safe in her bank account. Stories like this are the reason more and more men are walking away from marriage. The system is designed to reward marital fraud. She faces no consequences for using the relationship as a personal investment. Bro, with this reality, it's no surprise that fewer and fewer men are willing to play this game.
Bro.
3.
Really? Really? I don't fucking use these, bro. I don't fucking use them, bro.
It's not mine. I swear, I don't know where that came from. It's not mine.
Look back there.
It's not mine, I swear.
Look back there. Look back there now. Look. That shit ain't mine.
It's not mine either.
What do you mean ain't yours?
It is not mine. I swear it's not mine. I swear it's not mine. I swear. Dude, it's okay.
What do you mean it's okay? It's it, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I honestly didn't think it would hurt you this much.
What do you mean, bro? Fucking 3 years of my fucking life destroyed to the trash because you started fucking open your legs, dog.
Hell to the no, 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 no. Hell no.
Crocodile tears activated. The classic move of playing the victim to gain sympathy. Any man with common sense would see a red flag with this woman. This isn't just a simple, I made a mistake, and that's it. This man spent 6 years with her, and during all that time, she never thought about anyone but herself. Her plan was clear. Get married to secure her consolation bonus. She knew that marriage would give her access to this man's assets. This isn't a coincidence. Many modern women see marriage as a business deal, not a union. That's why athletes are advised to protect themselves from gold diggers. Don't get them pregnant and don't get married without a prenuptial agreement. And here we have a clear example of that. This guy went from celebrating a wedding to filing for divorce in just 2 weeks. The worst part is seeing her laughing in the first videos. But as soon as the criticism starts rolling in, the crocodile tears appear. She switches from laughter to sadness in seconds, all to change the narrative. Bro, protect your assets, because this system isn't set up for you to win.
I made 2 crucial mistakes after my first divorce, which led to my second divorce. Mistake number 1, I took 0 time to heal, to rebuild my self-esteem, figure out what I wanted, reflect on the relationship and the role that I played so that I can figure out what I don't want to do in a new relationship moving forward. And instead, I made mistake number 2, which was hopped right back in the fucking dating world and started dating somebody way too soon because I didn't know who I was or what I wanted. I had no standards. I didn't know my deal breakers. So I settled in a relationship, which didn't fucking work out. I'm telling you, working on yourself after a breakup or a divorce, like, that has to be your number 1 priority. If you're not doing that, you're going to keep finding yourself in the same relationships with the same type of people, and you're going to keep getting divorced and keep breaking up. Ain't nobody got time for that. Who wants to fucking do that? Heal your shit. Know your worth. Have high standards. Be super fucking picky. Know what your deal breakers are. And stop settling. Take the time to really learn how to stand on your own 2 feet and not feel like you need a relationship in order to feel happy.
Oh, hell no.
Studies confirm it. 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and for second marriages, the rate goes up to 60% or 67%. That idea that the grass is greener on the other side is pure fiction. Most people have already found their ideal partner but didn't value them. They prefer to let them go because, nowadays, women have too many options and there will always be another man willing to step in. The problem is clear. They want to live in the honeymoon phase forever. When the relationship matures and real problems arise, many prefer to jump ship instead of facing them. It's no coincidence that 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Responsibility is kryptonite for them. They don't want to take it on. They prefer the easy way out and move on to the next man. And that's how the cycle begins. Moving from relationship to relationship, searching for what they already had but didn't know how to appreciate. Responsibility is kryptonite for women.
This is such an interesting time of year. If you are getting divorced or you've recently divorced, the holidays just bring up a lot of reminders that your life is different and your life is changing. And when it comes to changing, because I work with women every day on putting their lives back together after divorce in a really beautiful way, it's interesting that a lot of people want the change, but they don't want to change. They don't want to fix their mindset. They don't want to look at life a different way. They aren't ready to move on from the past. And I get it. I totally get it. I was there 10 years ago and I was like, why can't things just go back to how they were? And why can't I just feel comfortable in some areas in my life? But the truth is if you're going through this or just recently went through it, you have to realize things are different. Your life is different. And if you want to feel different and have a different outcome in this life, you've got to start looking at things different and maybe doing some things different. You just have to remind yourself that a new way or a new perspective can open a lot of different doors. And I think that's just a good reminder as we're moving into the thick of the holidays that just because things look different doesn't mean that they're bad. If you need help with adjusting your perspective or seeing things different or trying new things, just let me know. I'm here for you. And as always, I'm in your corner and I'm cheering you on.
This is the kind of message that drives more women to divorce. They're sold the fantasy that, after divorcing, everything will be sunshine and rainbows, as if life magically transforms. But reality is different. If you're 20 and you want to experience life, that's understandable. It's part of youth. But once you hit 25, you're no longer a young girl. You're stepping into maturity. And if you reach 30, you're facing the wall. Continuing to experiment at this age only leaves you with less time and fewer real options. The proof is in her own words. Why can't I feel at ease in some aspects of my life? The answer is obvious. You're not 20 anymore. Youth fades, responsibilities grow, the biological clock ticks, and if you've already been through a divorce, you need to get your life on track. You can't keep living off experiences that are only paid for with your presence. Now, you have to step into the role of an adult because the wall doesn't forgive. But, as always, misery loves company. Women like this try to sell you the idea that your life will be beautiful after divorce, but they don't tell you what happens next. Loneliness, new debts, and the realization that you're no longer at your peak to start from scratch. You're at the wall, and brothers, the wall does not forgive.
I'm talking about the top 10 reasons for divorce. Today is number 9. This one's going to be a hot topic, but it is one of the top 10 reasons for divorce. So number 9 is one person in the relationship is not carrying their weight. Okay. So what I hear a lot for the women that come to me who are considering divorce is this. I'm doing everything. If I don't do it, it won't get done. I've asked and I've asked for him to carry the weight in this relationship, like 50-50. Can we be partners? We both work full time, but why am I coming home and doing my second full-time job while he sits on the couch and watches TV? Why is it up to me to book the kids' dentist appointments and doctor's appointments and know the schedule? Why is it up to me to plan everything? Why won't he contribute? And as much as you've asked, it's not happening. And hey, this might go both ways, but I'm talking about women. And one big reason why women are initiating 70 to 80% of all divorces is this one. This should be higher up on the list, in my opinion. And also what I hear a lot is, I'm doing everything anyways. If I get divorced, I just have one less person to take care of. And then when they do get divorced and maybe they're single moms with kids or living alone, they're like, life is so much easier. I'm still doing the same amount of work, but there's just less stress. It's easier. And I'm not resentful for this person who isn't being a team player. So this is a huge one. Let me know what you think. Has this been a reason that factored into your divorce? Or is it something that is making you consider, I might have an easier life with one less person to take care of?
I've always said that it's perfectly fine for a man to help out at home. Part of leading a relationship is guiding it toward a better path. If both people are working, it makes sense for the man to take on some household tasks. That doesn't make you any less of a man. But here's the key. Helping does not mean being subordinate. The problem is that, many times, it's not that they're upset because the man isn't doing things. It's that he's not doing them her way. The house turns into a company where she's the boss and you're the employee. If you don't do it the way she likes, then it's wrong. What's funny is that this situation has a simple solution. I have a friend whose wife took pictures of how she wants things organized. He follows the pictures and that's it. No arguments, no fights. Men think in a linear way. Give us clear instructions and we'll get it done. The real problem is that when a woman feels like she's doing everything, she starts to believe the idea that her life would be better without her partner. What they don't realize is that separation, especially with kids, puts everyone in a worse situation. Divorce doesn't lighten the load. It doubles it. But this better alone than in bad company narrative has led many to make impulsive decisions without thinking about the long-term consequences.
Whenever we were walking out of the restaurant, he opened the door for
Bare
me.
minimum.
Whenever we got back to his place, he complimented me on
Bare
my...
minimum.
Whenever we were going to bed, he gave me a forehead kiss.
Bare minimum.
Whenever I left the next morning, he texted me to make sure I got home.
Welcome to The Wall. Today, we'll see a woman complaining that men don't pick up on her signals, and we're going to make it clear why that approach doesn't work. We'll also take a look at another woman who, after turning 31, now wants to start a family. But what she didn't expect was the masterful response she received. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're chasing 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Big thanks to those who support the project with their super chats and share their experiences in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. All right, let's get started.
Why do men not understand hints in the slightest way possible? Okay, what happened to men being able to pick up on signals when women fancy them? Okay, I'm not making this 10-second eye contact for you to just walk out the room and pretend I don't exist, babe. Making the eye contact and even giving you a smile, and you're not doing anything about it. So you're calling me ugly and fat is what you're doing. Why don't they pick up on the hints that I'm madly in love with them? I've already envisioned that we're having 10 kids and we're having 2 dogs named Bert and Alan. You've already met my family in my head. We're already married, we've already settled down on a farm, and I can see you milking cows, to be honest, in our future, but you're not even going to reciprocate that? I've made eye contact with you and this is what you give me. Why do men not pick up on hints? Tell me why. Tell me why. I've literally told you via eye signalling that I'm madly in love with you. What more do you want from me?
Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Woman, men don't read minds. If you stare at us for 10 seconds straight, we're not thinking, oh, she's madly in love with me. We're more likely thinking, either I'm in trouble, or this woman can't stand me. Eye signals don't come with subtitles. We're not psychics. If you like a man, be direct. A subtle smile, a casual conversation, or a simple hello already makes a difference. A physical touch, or even inviting him for a coffee, sends a much clearer message than 10 seconds of staring. The problem is that many women are afraid of rejection. If you're afraid of rejection, don't ask why, ask how. How can I approach the man I like? Instead of complaining to men, focus on taking action. Nobody here has mind-reading superpowers.
Why do men not understand hints in the slightest way possible? Okay, what happened to men being able to pick up on signals when women fancy them? Okay, I'm not making this 10-second eye contact for you to just walk out the room and pretend I don't exist.
It's because men don't understand how to read in between the lines. They're not mind readers. So if you actually like a man, you actually have to learn how to communicate and be straightforward. Some of y'all love to play all of these games and make him guess. And then you have this stupid 3-day rule about texting. Like, stop playing all of the mind games. Let's also not forget that the majority of women come online every single day and talk about medium ugly dudes and ugly men and how men aren't attractive and how they don't find men attractive at all anymore. So again, how is he supposed to read your eye contact? For all he knows, you're making fun of him, you're looking at his socks, you think his outfit's weird, and he's unattractive and has a big nose. But additionally, for the last decade, women have demonized men and villainized men into a corner to where they don't even want to look your direction, because even looking your direction, he could be sexualizing you. He could be objectifying you. He's not going to do any of that anymore because he doesn't want to risk any kind of consequences that could negatively impact the rest of his life. But not only that is y'all have made men feel so low and so useless that the fear of rejection outweighs the actual potential of him trying to read your mixed signals. So this just seems like the consequences of your own actions, because you can't tell men that you would choose a bear over them, but then expect them to read your mixed signals and want to approach you and be friendly and get to know you. And with that being said, I have to pose the question, do you think that a man is going to understand your eye contact? Because as women, you assume that men are eye fucking you 24/7 or sexualizing you if they stare in your direction. So that's why you expect him to pick up on your hints? Just a thought. Okay, bye.
If there's a woman who was in her 20s during the 2000s watching this, tell me in the comments if it was really this bad back then. Back in the day, you could approach a woman directly without being labeled creepy or a harasser. This shift is largely due to the influence of the purple-haired movement, with pig nose rings trying to make all men out to be harassers. Today, because of that narrative, young men are afraid to approach a woman, not because they're shy, but because of the risk of being yelled at, recorded, or even having the police called on them just for saying hello. That's the reality. That's why most guys now turn to dating apps, because at least there, a text message doesn't turn you into a criminal. We understand that harassment is a real issue, but it's reached a ridiculous point. Even making eye contact can be interpreted as objectification.
I genuinely need the universe to explain. I'm over here ready to be wifed, though. I'm ready to fall so in love. Like, I'm ready to give someone serious babies. I'm 31 today, and no one is sitting across the table from me at dinner and holding my hand or telling me how beautiful I look or coming home and doing whatever it is that people do. It's unfair. It's ridiculous.
No, darling, I hate to break it to you, but what it is reality. The reality for you and millions of women just like you. And before I forget, I genuinely want to wish you a very happy birthday. I hope it went well. And I hope I'm not ruining your birthday by being the bearer of bad news. The bad news, sadly, being that the odds of you finding what you're looking for, that man to settle down with, that man to help you have babies, is probably somewhere between slim and none. Because the fact of the matter is, the majority of men, and especially the ones in your age group, the ones that you would want to, how you put it, wife you up, they're done. They have no interest in dating, certainly no interest in relationships or marriage, and even little to no interest in having children. That's the reality. And even if they did want those things, the odds are, and I don't mean to be mean by saying this, they're going to choose someone younger, someone who's more likely to be able to meet their standards and their needs. And I don't know your personal situation, but I have to wonder, how many guys in your 20s did you reject for not being good enough? How many did you friend zone? How many did you put on the back burner in hopes of finding someone better, only to realize that the smart women out there, the ones who didn't buy into the fantasy that there's a perfect man out there for every woman, just waiting to be found? You know, the ones that only exist in romance novels or Disney and Hallmark movies?
It's funny because it's true.
Many women wait until their 30s to get married and start a family, but what they don't tell them is that this is one of the worst moves they can make. In the past, older women advised younger women to get married before 25, usually to their high school or college boyfriend. But the message has changed. Now, they're told not to get married, not to be housewives, not to settle, and to only look for high-value men. They're told to be strong and independent. The problem with this mentality is that the high-value ladder has no end, but time does. And while they climb that ladder, their options decrease. By the time they hit 30, they realize they're not millionaires, they don't have the dream career, and now they want to get married. But the biological clock doesn't wait. By that point, the high-value men are no longer interested in them, but in younger women. The wall doesn't forgive, and time shows no mercy. But let's keep going because this is about to get even more interesting.
Well, as I said, those smart women didn't buy into the hype, didn't buy into the fantasy, didn't come up with an endless list of ridiculous demands and expectations of men. And because they were realistic, because they didn't have insane expectations and demands, they ended up being the ones that got wifed up because they showed themselves for what men are truly looking for: companionship, love, devotion, and being a true partner. Not some drama queen with the aforementioned never-ending expectations and demands. One who respects and appreciates the man and the relationship. Look, I get it. You were sold a bill of goods. Other women convinced you to believe that if you just went out and focused on your career, partied hard, ratcheted up a body count in the hundreds, if not thousands, that you would find true fulfillment, not just in your 20s, but for the rest of your life. And now realization has set in. Realization that while that may have been fun at the time, you're now ready to settle down, ready to start having kids, ready to be with someone for the rest of your life. The problem being, men aren't looking for women who've reached that point. The ones who, if I may be so bold as to say, are reeking of desperation. For men, there's better options out there, and that's who they're going to gravitate to. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm certainly not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just pointing out the reality of it. I genuinely hope you can find that man that wants to settle down with you and have children. But I hope you realize that it's going to be tough. And I hope you realize that the men that are left, the ones that are available, have seen how today's modern women have become so demanding, so outrageous with their expectations, and unwilling to offer anything when it comes to a relationship. They want to take, but not give anything in return. That's where we're at in today's modern society. And sadly, it's not going to change anytime soon. Men have walked away. Don't expect them to come back, because while we may be slow to make changes, once we do, they tend to be permanent.
There's not much more to add. The message is clear. Instead of betting on a man's potential, don't wait for your best years to pass. The difference is that men have a much broader time window to start a family, but women don't. Their time is more limited, and nature doesn't negotiate. You don't want to reach the point where you're freezing your eggs, because believe me, when you're in that situation, you'll realize that the wall doesn't forgive.
Why do men not understand hints in the slightest way possible?
Are you playing a game or something?
Okay, what happens to men being able to pick up on signals when women fancy them?
I'm confused, girl. Are you at a goddamn stoplight?
Okay, I'm not making this 10-second eye contact for you to just walk out the room and pretend I don't exist, babe. Making the eye contact and even giving you a smile, and you're not doing anything about it.
How about your ass give him some communication?
So you're calling me ugly and fat is what you're doing.
Now, girl, you just making shit up.
Why don't they pick up on the hints that I'm madly in love with them? I've already envisioned that we're having 10 kids and we're having 2 dogs named Bert and Alan.
Girl, what? You sure you okay? You got a little fever?
You've already met my family in my head. We're already married, we've already settled down on a farm, and I can see you milking cows, to be honest, in our future, but you're not even going to reciprocate that?
How the hell he gonna reciprocate some shit he have no clue about? You sure you don't need to be in a straitjacket?
Why do men not pick up on hints? Tell me why. I've literally told you via eye signaling that I'm madly in love with you. What more do you want from me?
To open your goddamn mouth and stop playing charades. They ain't no goddamn mind readers.
I don't think all men want to die alone, without a wife or a family. This country needs fathers, strong men to lead the next generation and preserve the traditions that made this nation great. But let's be honest, the dating landscape is in crisis. The problem isn't men, because our expectations haven't changed. We want respect, support, and peace. But the standards of many women today are unrealistic. They expect a high-value man, but there aren't enough of those men for everyone, and not all women have the beauty or qualities to attract them. If you're already in your 30s and up against the wall, it's time to take the initiative. The statistics don't lie. 3 out of 5 times, when a woman makes the first move, it works. It's not about losing dignity. It's about recognizing that the competition is real and that time waits for no one.
This girl on TikTok said if she's still coming around, he's still entertaining her. A car doesn't travel unless you put gas in it. I love TikTok.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see an outraged woman because her husband cut off her allowance after she did nothing for him at home. We'll also explore the struggle of several modern women in the dating world. some battling with having too much money and others chasing chads on dating apps. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're chasing 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Thanks to everyone who supports the project with their super chats and shares their experiences in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. Now, let's get started.
We women have to be honest with ourselves about a few things, which is, right now, women, if you make a certain amount of money, we do not date men that do not make the same amount of money or more than us. Women on average actually do not want to. And so we have this conundrum where if women are making more, men are making the same, and in some instances less, what happens to the dating pool? And so I think women, if we're going to make more money, we got to start saying, it doesn't really matter if our partner makes the same amount of money. I mean, Chris, my husband, was a Navy SEAL. Spoiler, the government doesn't pay well. So I made more than he did in the beginning, but his compass was never money. His compass was service and excellence. Your bank account has no ability to hurt a man one way or the other. But if you make him feel less than for the amount of money that he's making, even not on purpose, I'm sure she's lovely, then certainly you can. But I think that's where women get it wrong. We're like, he doesn't want to date me because I'm too rich. I have never in my life met a guy that goes, the thing is, she's got too much cash. Fuck that broad. Like that doesn't happen. You know, what happens is I feel less than with her because she makes so much money.
She has a point. A relationship usually works better when the man earns more money than the woman. It's not about control, it's about leadership. When the man leads, the relationship flows naturally. But when the woman earns more, the dynamic changes. Not all, but many women with money tend to have a more difficult character to handle. And if some are already difficult without money, imagine them with a full bank account. Another problem is the so-called social standards. For ages, the idea has been sold that women should look for a man who is superior to them. The issue is that the higher a woman climbs, the fewer men there are above her. And the men at the top aren't looking for equals. They seek women who are a couple of steps below them, not above. Moreover, many men aren't intimidated by a woman's money, but they do know that more money often means more demands. She wants to maintain her lifestyle, and if you can't support it, you're out. Lastly, there's the biological factor. If she's making $120,000 a year and you're only making $30,000, how can you ask her to leave her career to have kids? It doesn't make sense. She won't leave her job, she won't change her lifestyle, and you won't be able to compensate for it. That's why many of these women end up single. Not because they can't find a man, but because they're not willing to give up ground. And in the dating market, that inflexibility comes at a high price.
So my fucking husband decided to cut me off. And by cut off, I mean cut off my fucking allowance.
And I wonder why.
So my husband usually gives me $75 a week, $100 on a good day. I had asked him if he could raise it up a little bit, and he told me that he's just gonna cut me off completely. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, why are you gonna cut me off for? I deserve my fucking allowance. Like, why are you not going to give me my allowance?
But why do you deserve this allowance? Because obviously he took it for a reason. So that means you're not doing your job, because that's what allowances are for. People that's doing their job. A good one at that.
His excuse was that I don't do nothing around the house. He said, you don't cook, you don't clean, I have to wash my own clothes. What do you expect? Why are you expecting money from me?
Oh, good point. The least your ass could do is be a great ass housewife. If he going out there get the bag and you staying at home, that's your job, because you don't work a 9 to 5. So I wouldn't pay your ass either if you ain't doing shit.
And I'm like, I take care of your children. I take care of them. So I deserve that little bit of $75 a week that I fucking was getting.
Hold up. Ain't them your kids too?
Then he has the audacity to tell me, oh, I'll give you $25 a week. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? I can't do shit. So now I told him, since you're not going to give me my allowance, then go find the kids a babysitter. And you're going to have to pay way more money for a babysitter than just giving me my fucking allowance.
And while he looking up for that babysitter, he need to be looking up a divorce attorney, because your ass don't sound like you too much of a wife.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
With women like this, it's easier to stay single. I'd rather pay child support than have to put up with such an unhealthy dynamic. These women complain about having to do something for the man, but they still expect him to put food on the table, take care of the home, fix anything that breaks, pay for their medical bills, and cover their personal expenses. The double standard is unbelievable. But of course, according to feminists, doing laundry for your husband or cooking for him makes you a slave. And the child? He's her child too, so she should at least take care of him. This whole, don't do anything for the man, propaganda is what's ruining the dynamics of modern marriages. Then they criticize the man, calling him abusive or insensitive, when they themselves create the environment that makes him want to leave. That husband did the right thing by cutting off her allowance. If she doesn't contribute, she should at least work to cover her share. Paying for a babysitter would be more practical than maintaining her while she does absolutely nothing.
It's funny because it's true.
Hot take, but it is 100% okay for you to go for a man that has a girlfriend. No, be so fucking for real right now. If this man has a girlfriend and you are attracted to him, it is your job to steer clear away from him, okay? I saw something on my For You page being like, oh, what do? I'm attracted to this guy, but he has a girlfriend. You should not be doing anything besides getting rid of your feelings for him. This situation literally happened to me, except it was the ex-girlfriend trying to slide into his DMs and being like, hey, let's get back together, like... First of all, you know he's in a relationship. Anytime somebody's in a relationship, I'm like, ew, gross, stay away from me. I feel like it's always the girls that preach about being a girl's girl until it no longer serves them. And if you think that you can steal this man, what makes you think that he's not gonna do the same thing to you? I also think it's a little bit crazy to be preying on a relationship's downfall just so that you can have a chance with them. Also, side note, this blush is giving sunburn in the best way possible. It's so cute. Last piece of advice for if you are interested in someone with a girlfriend, keep that shit to yourself. Keep it to yourself, please. Don't tell anyone. This is the final look.
A woman's worst enemy will always be another woman. Pre-selection is real. When a man is chosen as a partner by one woman, he automatically becomes more attractive to others. Why? First, because the forbidden always draws attention. Second, because he has already passed the entry barriers that a woman sets, which makes another woman see him as a potential partner. It's pure competition instinct. Women don't have friends, they have rivals. Many want another woman's man simply for the thrill of taking him away. It's so common that some men wear engagement rings in bars to attract women, and it works. Seeing a man as another woman's man excites them because it validates their emotional value in being able to win him over. That's why I always say, a woman is an emotional being. If she feels strong attraction toward a man, it doesn't matter if he has a girlfriend or wife. She will look for a way to be with him. This isn't a written rule, but it happens more often than people admit. The pre-selection instinct takes over, leading them to compete for what's already taken.
Date time, story time. So I went on a date with this guy recently from Hinge. Been speaking for about a week. So much banter, so much fun. The only time we would actually break to stop speaking was when we went to sleep. He would text me back within 2 minutes or an hour, depending on how busy he was, which I really appreciated because I do feel like there's a lot of game playing sometimes and people can be a bit like, wait 5 hours to text you back. So it was like really back and worth pointing out that he was 32 and I was 35. There was a bit of banter back and forth about my age. He joked several times that I was a cougar. Considering I am a little bit older, I don't really love that. So didn't make a big deal of it, just said, hey, you're going to give me a complex. And then he stopped with the 35-year-old jokes. We arranged to meet up. Obviously, I was like deciding what to wear. I was getting so excited because I've been speaking to him for a week. And I was really excited to meet this guy who I felt could potentially be something. Get on the date. I arrive and he looks a hell of a lot younger than he does in his pictures. So I said to him, considering you're 33, you do still have a bit of a baby face. Laughed it off, didn't really think anything of it. The date progressed. We were talking for probably about an hour. He came across very arrogant in the way that he spoke about other girls and other dates. He did appear younger than he did on WhatsApp. But I had texted my friend and just said, look, I'm here safe. Seems like a nice enough guy. Not really what I thought he would be based on like the WhatsApp chat that we had. But having a great time. And obviously I want to get to know him. I've only been here an hour. He goes to the bathroom. Comes back from the bathroom. And proceeds to sit down and say, I'm not feeling this. I'm going to go. And because we'd obviously had a bit of banter back and forth and we had been for a week, I was like, huh? Are you joking? And he was like, no, absolutely not. I really don't appreciate your baby face comment. I'm actually really annoyed about it. There's a few other things as well, but this isn't going anywhere, so I'm going. Bearing in mind, we're sat on a line of tail, like a big long bar. So there's like people either side of us, and the bartender was here. Everybody could hear all of this. And I said to him, I was like, hey, I'd really like to understand what it was that I did to upset you. I said, the baby face comment was just in jest. Obviously, we've been joking about age, and surely it's not a bad.
For a first date, a bar isn't the most recommended place. Loud music, lots of people, and alcohol aren't the best conditions for a good conversation. It's better to prioritize a place where you can connect and get to know the other person. Small coffee shops are usually ideal, nothing from fast food chains. Look for something cozy. Google can help you find the perfect spot. As for everything else, men shouldn't take everything as an insult unless it really is one. In this case, it seems more like a display of insecurity on his part. Comments like baby face aren't a big deal. In fact, many would prefer to look young rather than older. But of course, everyone handles their insecurities differently. Let's continue.
I think you've got a baby face, like nobody wants to look old. Tried to kind of get some communication out of him. He wasn't interested. He was just like, no, I'm going. And then he just got up and left me in the middle of the bar in London. Bearing in mind, I had travelled all the way to London from Essex to be there. Spent £25 on the train to get there. And he just got up and left me in the middle of the bar, completely on my own. Didn't text me once to ask if I'd got home safe. Was so rude. I was mortified. And of course, anybody that suffers with low self-esteem issues, even though it was absolutely him and his pride that I clearly hurt when I said about the baby face, because of my self-esteem issues, I go in on myself and I keep thinking it's me. What did I do wrong? Like, I did something. And I need to tell you girls, stop it. Because I got myself in such a tears because I thought that I'd done something really wrong. When actually what I did do when he turned around and said that he was upset about that was I tried to understand how it was that I hurt him. I profusely apologised and he still didn't give a fuck. And I'm sorry, but if you can't take banter but you can dish it out to me, how is that fair? So easy to go in on yourself, but really you have to think about this person and what they're going through. Obviously he sat there and he chewed on this comment because I said it right from the beginning when we first arrived, and then he sat there on it for an hour, went to the bathroom and then came back and proceeded to do that. No matter what, if you're not feeling it on a date, I absolutely am not disputing that. I completely understand that. Make an excuse and say you've got to get up early or whatever, but say thanks for a lovely evening, it was great to get to know you or whatever. But don't abandon someone in the middle of a bar and then to not even have the decency, the common decency, especially with the world the way it is today, to text that person, especially as a woman, to message and just say, hey, I really hope that you got home safe. If you are treated like that, don't ever think that this is anything that you did or anything that you could have done to avoid. And because it is slim pickings out there, I felt the need to really be like, oh my God, what is it that I did? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because you have that scarcity mindset where it's like, oh my God, it's taken forever for me to get on this date. He's actually quite nice. Like, what if I don't get somebody else? It's not the way forward. Like, we need to realize that we deserve better. We deserve common fucking decency on a date. Like, we're all out here trying to find somebody, trying to meet somebody. And I just think people in this day and age are just so unbelievably rude. And to anybody else who's going through it on Hinge, fucking hell, it's hard out there. I admire anybody who's out there in the dating scene right now. And I just want to be honest about some of the experiences that I've had. But that was up there with the worst for sure. And just remember that it is not a reflection of you at all. So, I see you. I feel you.
Damn! It seems that man was simply looking for an excuse to get out of the situation. Most likely, he wasn't that into you, or you didn't look like your photos. He tried to find a way to reject you without coming off as the bad guy. The sudden change after going to the bathroom gives it away. He probably sent a message to a friend or thought, this girl isn't for me. How do I get out of here without causing drama? That's when he latched onto the baby face comment, pretending to be offended so he could leave without you making a scene. The problem with dating apps, especially for women who are on the wall, is that every date feels like a gamble for a relationship with potential. That increases the pressure and makes rejections hit harder. If things aren't going well for you on the apps, maybe you should consider looking for an average man. Not the one with the flashiest photo, but the one with a good description, even if his appearance is simpler. You'll have better chances with someone who's looking for something real than with a Chad surrounded by options.
No one could humble me. No one. Respectfully. I am exactly who I say I am. So don't ask me, who do you think you are? Who I say I am? You can't humble me.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll be exploring the world of modern women talking nonsense on TikTok. We'll see it all, from the one who says she's not the bad girl to another explaining how to manifest your dreams and reprogram your mind. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're chasing 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Big thanks to those who support the project with their super chats and share their experiences in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. All right, let's get started.
Me personally, I've never really cared to be the baddest. It's never been a goal of mine. I want to be the most healed, the most kind, the most loving, the most compassionate. You know, when someone meets me, I want their first impression to be, wow, she was so kind. She was so loving. I could really be myself around her. Like, those are the thoughts I want people to have. I could care less if I ran into people and they didn't think I was the baddest. Would it be flattering? Sure, but that's it. I really don't care. I've never cared. To be the baddest, that's not the real flex. The real flex is being healed, being loving, understanding, being financially free. Those are the things I want to accomplish. Being the baddest, it sounds good. I've never cared. I've never cared.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Congratulations, you're officially a Care Bear. Honestly, it's no surprise that in this TikTok era, people come out saying the first nonsense that pops into their heads.
If anyone needed to feel better about themselves today, the last guy I was dating, like seriously dating, we were on the phone. We'd been dating for like 2 months at this point. We were on the phone, and at the end of the phone call, he goes, "Okay, love you. Bye." And I said, "Okay, bye," because I didn't know what to say. And then he immediately called me back. So I was like, "Oh, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get rid of the awkwardness." Like, that's good, because I was feeling real awkward. And he goes, "I did not mean what I just said. I actually like don't love you at all. Like, that was just like a word vomit that I like to say to my family members. And we've been talking a lot. And so now, like, you know, when I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm talking to a family member, but I actually like don't love you like that." And I said, "Okay." And then we hung up and we never talked about it again.
If you've already said it, the best thing to do is move on. Trying to fix it with unnecessary explanations only makes the situation worse. If she asks you directly, be firm with your words. You can say, "I said it without thinking, it won't happen again. It's no big deal." Then wait for her reaction. But if she doesn't bring it up, the smartest move is to leave it at that and not overthink it. Trying to get out of an awkward situation with silly excuses or downplaying what you said only makes you look insecure. You said it, you own it, and you move on. She may accept your response or get upset, but one thing's for sure. If she sees that you don't have control over your words, it's likely she won't want to go out with you again.
Look, if you cannot stop thinking about someone, this video is for you. Like, if they're affecting your day-to-day life, like if you are constantly thinking about them to the point where it's like bugging you every moment of the day. And trust me, I've been there, I know what it feels like, and it fucking sucks, okay? So this is how you get rid of it. So you've probably heard of a self-concept, okay? But you've also probably wondered, like, what the fuck is a self-concept? A self-concept is your dream self, okay? Like, when you have a strong self-concept, you have a strong relationship with your dream self. So now that we know what that is, like, let's figure out what our dream self is. I want you to take a moment, okay? List out everything that your dream version of you has. Like, do they have an amazing car? Do they have a great boyfriend? What do they like? Like, what do they have going for them? Did they finish school? Do they have a gorgeous condo in downtown Toronto? Like, who are they? And I want you to list out every single feature of them. But now I want you to list out what you need to do to attain every single one of those features. Because once you develop a strong self-concept, once you have a strong relationship with yourself, then these guys ain't gonna be shit, okay? You are not gonna be thinking about this guy.
Does anyone really become a millionaire just by imagining money with their eyes closed? The very idea sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. But here we are, with a bunch of women claiming they're going to manifest their ideal man and their dreams, as if just wishing for it were enough. Woman, if manifesting actually worked, they'd all be rich and married to Prince Charming by now. What we're seeing is the wall collecting victims. Women who, instead of accepting reality and taking action, hide in the fantasy that the universe will provide. Life doesn't work with wishes or empty affirmations. It takes action, not sweet words in front of a mirror. That's why, brothers, the wall doesn't forgive.
Okay, how fucking annoying is it to hear, oh my god, like, just focus on yourself, just focus on yourself. But we don't know how to focus on ourselves. Like, nobody's telling us how to actually do that, okay? So this is why I'm here for you. All right, the first thing you need to do to actually focus on yourself and to stop thinking about other people and to take charge of your own life, okay, is to figure out your fucking values, okay? And this is how you do that. Okay, here's a list of 230 values, okay? Screenshot it. Okay. So we need to know exactly what the fuck we value because we are a fucking human being and we need to know where our life is headed. So if we do not know what we value, then we are just going to go into life blind, okay? And that is such a waste. So first of all, you need to figure out your values. Go through this list and jot down 3 things that you absolutely like fucking value. Number 2, write down every single thing that you're putting off and take action towards it, okay? And wait. So if I've been putting off like getting an oil change, taking out the trash, going to the gym, cooking a healthy meal, then that is me literally not focusing on myself, okay? And that is not what we want. So even though it's daunting to be doing the things that you're putting off, you need to go do it. Like, go do your homework, whatever it is. Okay, lastly, this one's really important. You need to create a night routine to remain stable. Like, I swear this night routine completely shifts my attachment towards people. If you have a night routine, then you are focusing on yourself. You are taking care of yourself, okay? And these are some things you can do. So these are some things that I do in my night routine. Literally read a book, skincare, no phone rule, dishes. Like, these are things that will help you focus on yourself. Like, every night I give my pet undivided attention, okay? My kitten is so fucking lucky. And because I do things that are just for me and just for my home, that literally makes me focus on myself, okay? And when you're focusing on yourself, you become so magnetic. People are gonna love you. And most importantly, you are gonna love you, okay? You are taking control of your life by doing these things, and you are gonna see the best results.
Oh, hell no!
The classic speech of the strong, independent woman who has dismissed the idea of being with a man. She doesn't mention a partner or a relationship, and that's no coincidence. The wall has already caught up with her. When they see their options shrinking, the narrative shifts to focusing on oneself. The problem is that their life ends up being empty and boring, full of encounters with chads who never stay. They don't bring anything to the table, but they do bring the thrill of the moment. And when they leave, the emptiness returns. Don't just take my word for it. Watch the next video, and you'll see the same story on repeat.
Okay, this is how I completely detach from someone within 24 hours. And this works for situationships, exes, literally anyone. You can detach from them so fucking quickly. Okay, this is advice that I've literally never shared with you guys, and honestly, I'm so excited for you right now. Okay, so the reason why we're attached to people is because of our belief systems, okay? Like, we believe we need them in our lives, at least to a certain extent, okay? And that's perfectly fine, but we want to shift that. So normally when we're attached to people, we are super fucking anxious about them, okay? Like, we are obsessing over them, and that's not cute. So in order to like break free from this like obsessive anxiety, this is what I would recommend. Okay, literally hop onto that video streaming platform, like, you know, the one with like the red and then the play button, that one, and look up overnight affirmations for anxious attachment styles. And literally play these overnight, okay? These are 8-hour long videos that you literally just play while you're asleep. Like, it takes no fucking effort at all, okay? But this is why they're gonna work and change your life. When we're asleep, our brain is in a theta state, okay? So when we are in this theta state, we absorb everything that we hear. So if you are playing these affirmations that are conditioning your brain to a healthy attachment style, you are significantly going to shift in your mindset. So if you are feeling like you're not good enough, if you feel like you aren't like in the best belief system, then you literally need to do overnight affirmations, okay? You can do affirmations all day long, but literally it will not hit you in your subconscious as deeply as it would hit you if you did overnight affirmations, okay? It is game changing. It will change the game. Okay, by the time you see this, I'm probably gonna have my own that I like filmed for you guys. But in the meantime, knock yourself out. Like, go fucking find them online. They're gonna be amazing anyways, but let me know if you want me to film you guys some. All right, and good luck. You fucking got this. Go change your belief systems. Literally so fucking easy. You don't have to do anything except sleep.
Why would you want to get rid of someone in 24 hours? This kind of mentality is pure narcissism. These women are so focused on their own interests that they discard any emotional connection that doesn't serve their purpose. That's why they look for tricks to quickly forget a man, as if they were robots resetting their system. But the reason is simple. They date men for fun, not for commitment. They don't want deep emotional bonds because they know those men won't stay. The lives of these women become an empty, repetitive cycle. They fool themselves with the idea of empowerment, while the wall makes sure to remind them that time waits for no one. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. Have you ever manifested something and it actually happened? What do you think about a man who says, "I love you," and then comes up with a silly excuse afterward? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.